All right, the Raiders have released a starting cornerback. Just see ya. Bye-bye. And it's not like he was making a ton of money, and they have the money to pay him. So there's obviously something behind this, but I am here to talk to you about their positioning in the draft puts them in an absolute perfect spot to find an immediate replacement for Jones and actually get better. And actually get better at the position for even less money. And we're going to talk about that both in the first round, and we're going to talk about that going forward into the second round, where there could be three corners that I think absolutely fit Pete Carroll and what he likes in a cornerback. Remember, Pete Carroll is a guy who has always had a number one corner that is long and lean and mean. All right, that's basically what it's always been for him. We remember the Richard Sherman years, and beyond that, that is what he likes to play with. And then they went Witherspoon when Pete Carroll was still the coach a couple of years ago, I believe with the fifth pick. So they are absolutely willing to make those moves early on. So we're going to look at what a corner could look like both in the first round at number 6, which I don't think you go for, but then again in the second round. But first, let's talk about who left. All right. Jack Jones is gone, and I'll admit I missed this one. I was watching preseason Raiders football last year, and I came on here. I still remember. I remember doing a video on it being like, this dude looks legit. He is ready. And I thought with, the new coach, interim coach being made head coach, I thought the defensive mind, I thought the mentality, maybe some of the off-field or just kind of mental lapses might be gone, and he was going to look good because he was looking very, very good, but it was yet another year where it's like he had 21 starts across 3 seasons with the Patriots, with the Raiders. He has 7 career picks, so there's the potential for those things, which somehow he returned 4 of them for touchdowns. So he's a big play waiting to happen, but he's also rated as one of the worst quarterbacks on PFF. And it's because there were a lot of times where he was just the opposite of good. And then, by the way, they've been trying to trade him. And the market must have been pretty dry. Because if they're just going to flat release him, that means nobody was even willing to give a late round pick. Because if you can get a late round pick, if you can get a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, then you're going to trade him. Why wouldn't you do that instead of release him? So there it is. That's what we have to look forward to. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into my favorite thing, the PFF mock draft simulator. Sure, they can make a couple more moves, but right now they don't have a ton of stuff going for them when you honestly look at the outside corner position. All right, they've got Jacorian Bennett, Richardson, and Stokes. Those are the 3 guys that are battling out for the 2 starting roles. I'm not saying it's awful. It's not good. All right, you need to be better than that. So once again, I want to get to this mock draft simulator. Look, I think this is a very interesting draft. It was Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Will Campbell, and then Membu went 5th to the Jags. So you still have Abdul Carter sitting out here. That might be a good opportunity to say, hey, who cares how good our corners are, because our edge rushers are going to be so good it won't even matter. So you could take Abdul Carter. I think if he fell to you at 6, you probably would take him. I think most of you are sitting here yelling and screaming, get Tet or get Ashton Jeanty. I think a lot of you like that idea, but there's a couple of corners that are possible here. All right, the first one is Barron out of Texas. And this is a guy who played some really good football this year. All right, 5 picks. He a passer rating allowed against is my favorite thing to look at, 34.2. And that's on 68 targets. That's not a small amount of targets. This is a guy 5'11", 200 pounds. My goodness, is he good? The question is, how much zone are you going to play? A lot of what Pete Carroll likes to do is he likes to put his best corner on one side of the field and let that guy be a lockdown corner. That's what he likes to do. And if that's what he likes to do, Will Johnson is actually more likely the guy that you want to have in there. His passer rating allowed 30.9, but here's the thing, 2023, Marvin Harrison Jr., one-on-one all day absolutely held his own. He is a good football player. He's 6'2", 202. A guy that's been mentoring him is a guy by the name of Charles Woodson. Anybody know him by any chance? And Will Johnson has probably been the best corner to come out of Michigan since Charles Woodson. So I think it'd be one of those. If I had the choice between one of these two players, I'd probably go Will Johnson. But because, I'm going to go Will Johnson. Let's take him in the first round. But I want to actually show you more on what's going on in the second round of this draft. So I would like to see, and I think they're still going to be here, all right? When you look at this, there are three corners, in my opinion, that are all worthy of a pick, but especially two corners. At this early second-round pick that you have, I would even trade up into the first round if I could to get him. All right, first one is Trey Amos. Now, here's the thing about Trey Amos, and we're going to look at his athletic profile in a minute. He's older. He's 23. But he's 6'1". He's 190 pounds. He's a track star. All right, he is a speed guy. He has always been fast, and that's not a bad thing. When you look at his RAS, I don't know if you watch videos on this, you know I love talking relative athletic score. He's a 4.4 40 guy, 4.44, all right? 4.44 to be more exact, all right? And he's got more of the long speed than the short speed, but he's got the length and all that kind of stuff to make up for the lack of immediate bursts. There is another player that is another guy that could absolutely be there that I like just as much, if not more, and it's a guy by the name of Maxwell Hairston. He's out of Kentucky. Both of these guys are SEC complete. Now, you see this bad grades here. He was hurt. He only played in 7 games this year. 2023, he showed out a little bit. 5 picks, 3 touchdowns. He's got the size, 6'1", 186 pounds. All right? Yeah, you could put on a couple more pounds. That'd be fine. But here's what's really impressive. He's one of the most athletic corners to ever test. Out of almost 2,500 corners, he's the 81st most athletic. He runs a 4.29. Are you kidding me? 9.97, one of the fastest corners to ever run at the combine. All right, his height is a little bit different here. That's okay. His explosion is elite. This is a guy that could become a really, really good corner. So here's what I'm saying to you. They are available to the same information we are. And that is why I'm sitting here saying, hey, this might be a good draft. If you need a corner, wait till the second round. You can get Ashton Jeanty. You can get Tet McMillan. You might, who knows? I mean, you might be able to get, if you want, Shedeur Sanders still. I don't know. But in the second round, boom, right here, Maxwell Hairston, that's what you got to get. That's your guy. All right, so I like the ability to have, there are corners all over, and they kind of line up. Now, could these guys go earlier, later? Yes, you never know how the draft board's going to fall. But to me, there are some very athletic corners, and what we have seen is those feisty corners. All right, a guy like Maxwell Hairston, an ultimate competitor, he works out really, really well with Pete Carroll coach teams. That's what I'd be going for. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.